Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akmal Hakim bin Zulkifli 273616. Today I want to present about construction process. A process is defined as a system of operation in the design, development, and production of something such as a project. A process is a series of action, change, or operation that bring about the result of cost, schedule, and technical performance objectives. Construction. The construction process is physical process of building, landscaping, or refurbishing, plus all the associated activities, such as a demolition, site clearance, administration, and so on. Construction work are typically carried out by contractor, although in the house sector, contractor may be referred to as builders and house builder, and contractor may appoint subcontractor and other supplier to carry out. The process may start following a procurement process, which handover of the site from the client to the contractor and end with handing back a completed project to the client. It does not include pre-construction activities such as a preparation of the brief, forming a design team or design, and so on. Although these activities may be carried out at the same time as construction. The following process can form part of the construction process is mobilization, demolition, site clearance, erection of hoarding, welfare facilities, and so on, setting out, excavation, installation of foundation, frame construction, and so on. Most of the constructed facilities are custom-made in consultation with the owner, with an exception in the case of the residential units that may be sold as built by the real estate developer. He is regarded as the sponsor of building project, so far as government agency may be the sponsor of the public project and turn it over to another government unit upon its completion. For project management, the terms owner and sponsor are one and the same because both have the ultimate power to make all important decisions. It is judicious for any owner to have a clear understanding of the acquisition process to sustain firm control of the quality, timeline, and cost of completed facility, as he is essentially acquiring a facility and a promise in some form of agreement. The project life cycle for constructed facility may be represented schematically in project meets the market demands and requirement on a timely basis. A variety of possibilities may be taken into consideration in the conceptual planning stage. Hence, the technological as well as the economic feasibility of each option will be assessed and compared to select the best possible project. The financing strategies for the proposed option and ideas should undergo in a clear examination, which is later programmed with respect to the timing for project completion and based on the cash flow availability. Once the scope of the project is clearly explained and defined, through engineering design will provide the blueprint for construction, and the definitive cost estimate will provide the baseline for cost control. A standard construction project in general has following four major life cycle phases. Phase 1 for conceptual phase, phase 2 planning phase, Phase 3, execution phase, and phase 4, termination. Phase 1 is conceptual phase. In this phase, we determine that a project is needed to establish goal. A suitable response to the need is documented in a business case with recommended solution option. A feasibility study is conducted to examine whether each option clearly identifies the project objective, and a finally recommended solution is determined. When we get a solution of the problem, we estimate the resource that the organization is willing to commit. And then we sell the organization on the need for a project approach. Phase 2 is planning phase. In planning phase, firstly, we define the project organization approach. Secondly, we define a project target. And thirdly, and then we prepare the schedule for execution phase. And next, we define an allocated task and resource. And lastly, we build the project team. Phase 3 is execution phase. This is the implementation phase, where the project plan is put into motion and the work of the project is performed practically on site. It is essential to maintain control and communicate as needed during each implementation stage. Progress should be continuously monitored and appropriate adjustments are made and recorded as variance from the original plan. A project manager is the one who spends most of the time in this step. Throughout the project implementation, people carry out the task and progress information is being reported through regular project team meetings. Phase 4 is termination. Termination is the last phase of project life cycle. In termination, we assist in transfer of project product. Firstly, we transfer human and non-human resource to other organizations. Next, we transfer our complete commitment to terminate the project. And lastly, we get a reward personnel. The activities involved during construction project that are construction supervision, construction activities, variation order, progress payment, certificate of practically completion, and certificate of fitness. In construction supervision, that are including preliminaries, demolition, excavation and foundation, concrete and brickwork, finishes, M&E works, internal and external works. Type of construction activities. There are many types of construction activities such as marking and grading, excavation, concreting, carpentry, brick masonry, plumbing, welding, and electrical. Marking is one of first construction activities, which involve marking the area of the plot for reference. This helps the workers to always be able to orient themselves in terms of their workspace. Grading helps to ensure the building are even, last long, and maintain maximum support. There may be particular circumstance when something is being constructed that would require a slight incline and decline to the base surface. In this case, it would be very important that the incline is exactly the correct angle. Grading uses a big machine to help ensure the space is level, or that it is at the appropriate angle that it is supposed to be. Excavation. In general, the term involves moving earth or rock out of a certain area to prepare it for construction. This includes basement excavation, which digs the earth out of prepare for the basement to build. It also includes mud, rock and topsoil excavation, all of which include removing the substance from the workspace. Concreting is another major activity in construction. It is often used for the base of building, for roads, bridge, pipe, and many other applications. One of the reasons it has become so popular in the construction industry is the concrete is easy to make in large quantities and it changes state, so that is easy to work and manipulate. Carpentry also one of the first activities that come to many people's minds when construction. This is general cutting and installation of material that will be used for the construction of a structure. Carpentry used to be a word that described individual working with wood specifically, but now carpentry means working with several different materials. Brick masonry have been used in construction for decades and are still used often today as a highly efficient material. Brick mason lay the brick, ensuring that they are laid in a way that is structurally sound. For example, laying each brick one on top to allow the curb. In structure that require plumbing, there are specific plumbing activities that must occur to ensure that they will function properly. This includes putting in piping and fixtures for both incoming potable water and outgoing waste. Outgoing waste. Welding is the activity of attaching two metals together using heat. Next is key player. Key player is also the important things of the construction process. Key player may include subcontractor, a local architect, a mortgage broker, an interior designer, planning and zoning official, and city or town inspector. Construction cannot begin without adequate financing. The owner or employer, as known as a client. Generally, the client will retain a significant level of control over the assessment and appointment of designer and contractors for a project. The client can create their own design and can complain any design when he don't like and they can create a own design. Next is the designer or estimator. Including the designer is architect or planner, CNS engineers, M&E engineers, and QS. QS mean is quality inspection. The workspace is check the building when the building has 90% to complete. The QS must check the building that the building has safety to use or not. The next key player is the constructor. Constructor divide by 2 type. for type 1 is main and type 2 is subcontractor. Main contractor is a person who build the fully one builder, one build, one builder. A subcontractor is a person who work a specification work. A subcontractor is a person that do a specification work. The client is the initiator of the construction process. A client will be financing the project and employer. And then the client maybe come from the public or private sector. Project planning and controlling. The objective of project planning and controlling is to arrange the activities and appropriately. Second is to make a realistic time scheduling. Next is to make a resources estimation and planning. And then is to implementation time and cost controlling. And lastly is to easy the contract administration. In planning, we are focused on what we are aiming for and why. In the execution of this function, the organization mission, objective, goals, and strategies are determined. Project control is the application of process to measure project performance against the project plan, to enable variance to be identified and corrected so the project objectives are achieved. In construction, the control is monitored by project manager. Based on work program, it is and planned and plan versus actual progresses. In IT, we are controlled with Microsoft Project and Primavera. And next is cash flow. Cash flow is financial progress. Expansion and observation is physical progress. Why planning and controlling is so important? Planning and controlling is so important in internal that means is strategic, or external that is client's request. Before that, it is very important to avoid risk, to track progress, and to make correction. Schedule also important in planning and controlling. It is because the schedule is important to make sure we can communicate the construction plan. Also, it's important to establish production goal. Then, it's important to monitor and measure progress. And lastly, it's important to manage change. Last from me, to be a successful construction, the project must be without run from the budget. That means is the construction project we must within the budget. Next, the construction project must be completed on time as stated in the agreement. And then, the result of the construction project must meet owner specific need and requirement. And lastly, the construction project must be worked with flexibility. That's all from me. Thank you.